From translation, NIV New International Version. This 80th day of the year. Today we are reading passages Judges 8 to 9. Judges chapter 8, verses 1 to 35. The Ephraimites asked Gideon, "Why have you treated us like this? Why didn't you call us when you went to fight Midian?" And they criticized him sharply. But he answered them, "What have I accomplished compared to you? Aren't the gleanings of Ephraim's grape harvest better than the full grape harvest of Abiezer? God gave Oreb and Zeb, the Midianite leaders, into your hands. What was I able to do compared to you?" At this, their resentment against him subsided. Gideon and his 300 men, exhausted yet keeping up the pursuit, came to the Jordan and crossed it. He said to the men of Succoth, "Give some bread to your men who are following me, for they are exhausted, and I am still pursuing Zebah and Zalmunna, the kings of Midian." But the officials of Succoth said, "Do you already have the hands of Zebah and Zalmunna in your possession? Why should we put bread in the hands of those who are exhausted?" Then Gideon replied, "When the Lord has given Zebah and Zalmunna into my hands, I will thrash your flesh with desert thorns and briars." From there he went up to Penuel and made the same request of them, but the men of Penuel answered him as the men of Succoth had. So he said to the men of Penuel, "When I return in triumph, I will tear down this tower." Now Zebah and Zalmunna were in Karka with a force of about 15,000 men, all that were left of the armies of the eastern peoples. 120,000 swordsmen had fallen. Gideon went up by the route of the nomads on the east of Nobah and Jogbeha and attacked the army unexpectedly. Zebah and Zalmunna, the two kings of Midian, fled, but Gideon pursued them and captured them, defeating their entire army. Gideon son of Joash returned from battle by the passable Topheth route. He captured a young man of Succoth and questioned him. The young man wrote down for him the names of the 77 officials of Succoth, the elders of the town. Then Gideon went to the men of Succoth and said, "Here are Zebah and Zalmunna, whom you taunted me about by saying, 'Do you already have the hands of Zebah and Zalmunna in your possession? Why should we put bread in the hands of those who are exhausted?'" He took the elders of the town, and he taught the men of Succoth a lesson with desert thorns and briars. He also pulled down the tower of Penuel and killed the men of the town. Then Gideon asked Zebah and Zalmunna, "What kind of men did you kill at Tabor?" "They were like you," each answered, "with faces like the faces of sons of a king." Gideon replied, "They were my brothers, the sons of my mother. As surely as the Lord lives, if you had spared their lives, I would not kill you." Gideon said to Jether, his eldest son, "Get up and kill them." But the young man did not draw his sword, because he was only a boy and was afraid. So Zebah and Zalmunna said, "Come on, do it yourself. As surely as a man lives, you are no coward." So Gideon stepped forward and killed them, and he took the ornaments off their camels' necks. The Israelites said to Gideon, "Rule over us, you, your son and your grandson, for you have saved us from the hand of Midian." But Gideon told them, "I will not rule over you, nor will my son rule over you. The Lord will rule over you." And he said, "I would like a request of you. Give me each of you an earring from your share of the plunder." It was the custom for the Ishmaelites to wear gold earrings. They answered, "We'll be glad to give them." So they spread out a cloak, and each man threw a ring on it from his plunder. The weight of the gold rings he asked for was 1,700 shekels, not counting the ornaments, the pendants and the purple garments worn by the kings of Midian or the chains that were on their camels' necks. Gideon made the gold into an ephod, which he placed in Ophrah, his town. All Israel prostituted themselves by worshipping it there, and it became a snare to Gideon and his family. Thus Midian was subdued before the Israelites and did not raise its head again. During Gideon's lifetime, the land had peace 40 years. Jerubbaal son of Joash went back home to live. Gideon had 70 sons, his own offspring, for he had many wives. His concubine, who was in Shechem, also bore him a son, whom he named Abimelech. Gideon son of Joash died at a good old age, and was buried in the tomb of his father Joash in Ophrah of the Abiezrites. No sooner had Gideon died than the Israelites again prostituted themselves by worshipping the Baals, making Baal-berith their god. They did not remember the Lord their God, who had delivered them from the hands of all their enemies on every side. They also failed to show kindness to the family of Jerubbaal, that is, Gideon, in accordance with the good he had done to Israel. Judges chapter 9, verses 1 to 57. Abimelech son of Jerubbaal went to his mother's brothers in Shechem, and said to them and to all his mother's clan, "Ask all the citizens of Shechem, is it better for you that all 70 of Jerubbaal's sons rule over you, or just one man? Remember, I am your flesh and blood." When the brothers repeated all this to the citizens of Shechem, they were inclined to follow Abimelech, for they said, "He is related to us." They gave him 70 shekels of silver from the temple of Baal-berith, and Abimelech used it to hire reckless scoundrels, who became his followers. He went to his father's home in Ophrah on the pretext of some private business. One by one, he murdered his 70 brothers, the sons of Jerubbaal, on a large stone, But Jotham, the youngest son of Jerubbaal, escaped by hiding. Then all the citizens of Shechem and Beit Millo gathered beside the great tree at the pillar in Shechem to crown Abimelech king. When Jotham was told about this, he climbed up on the top of Mount Gerizim and shouted to them, "Listen to me, citizens of Shechem, so that God may listen to you." One day the trees went to anoint a king for themselves. They said to the olive tree, "Be our king." But the olive tree answered, "Should I give up my oil, by which both gods and humans are honored, to hold sway over the trees?" Next, the trees said to the fig tree, "Come and be our king." But the fig tree replied, "Should I give up my fruit, so good and sweet, to hold sway over the trees?" Then the trees said to the vine, "Come and be our king." But the vine answered, "Should I give up my new wine, which cheers both gods and humans, to hold sway over the trees?" Finally all the trees said to the thorn bush, "Come and be our king." The thorn bush said to the trees, "If you really want to anoint me king over you, come and take refuge in my shade. But if not, then let fire come out of the thorn bush and consume the cedars of Lebanon. Have you acted honorably and in good faith by making Abimelech king? Have you been fair to Jerubbaal and to his family? Have you treated him as he deserves? Remember that my father fought for you and risked his life to rescue you from the hand of Midian. But you have attacked my father's family this day, killing his 70 sons on a single stone, and you have made Abimelech, the son of his female slave, king over the citizens of Shechem, because he is related to you. So if you have acted honorably and in good faith toward Jerubbaal and his family today, then rejoice in Abimelech and may he be your joy. But if not, may fire come from Abimelech and consume you, the citizens of Shechem and Beit Millo, and may fire come from you and consume Abimelech." Then Jotham fled, escaping to Beer, and he stayed there because of his brothers. After Abimelech had governed Israel 3 years, God sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the citizens of Shechem, who acted treacherously against Abimelech. God did this in order that the crime against Jerubbaal's 70 sons, whose blood had been shed, might be avenged on their brother Abimelech and on the citizens of Shechem, who had helped him murder his brothers. In opposition to him, these citizens of Shechem set ambushes on the hilltops. They robbed everyone who passed by, and it was reported to Abimelech. Now Gaal, son of Ebed, and his clan moved to Shechem, and its citizens wholeheartedly put their confidence in him. After they had gone into the fields and gathered the harvest, they came and harvested his vineyards and trod the grapes. They held a festival in the temple of their god, and while eating and drinking, they cursed Abimelech. Then Gaal, son of Ebed, said, "Who is Abimelech? Should we Shechemites not follow the son of Jerubbaal? Should we not follow Shechem? Why should we serve Abimelech? Would not this man be better to rule over you than one of you? Isn't this man the son of Jerubbaal? And Zebul is his deputy." When Zebul, the ruler of the city, heard the words of Gaal, son of Ebed, his anger was aroused. Under his direction he sent messengers to Abimelech in Arumah, saying, "Gaal, son of Ebed, and his clan have come to Shechem and are stirring up the city against you. Now then, during the night, you and your men should come and lie in wait in the fields. In the morning at sunrise, advance from the fields. When Gaal and his clan come out against you, you can then do to them whatever you can." So Abimelech and all his troops set an ambush by night in 4 companies of men. Gaal, son of Ebed, and his men came out and took their stand at the entrance to the city gate. Abimelech and his troops rose from their ambush positions. When Gaal saw the people coming out of the ambush positions, he said to Zebul, "There are men coming down from the tops of the hills." "No," Zebul answered, "it's the shadow of the hills that looks like men." But Gaal spoke up again. "There is a company coming down from the direction of the center of the land, and another has set out from the direction of the great tree in Elon." Then Gaal said, "We must go out and fight them." But Abimelech said, "Don't do that." So Gaal led the citizens of Shechem out to fight against Abimelech. Abimelech chased him, and many fell wounded as they fled all the way to the entrance of the gate. Abimelech stayed in Arumah, and Zebul drove Gaal and his clan out of Shechem. The next day the people went out into the fields, and this warning was passed through the town: "Watch out, Abimelech is coming to attack you." So Abimelech and all his troops set an ambush near a field, and they had all seen him. They then rushed out to attack them. Abimelech and his company rushed forward to a position at the entrance of the city gate, and as they fought, Abimelech killed many. He captured the city and killed its people, and he tore it down and sowed it with salt. On hearing this, all the citizens in the tower of Shechem went into the stronghold of the temple of El-Berith. Someone told Abimelech, "Gaal, son of Ebed, and his clan have come to Shechem, and they are stirring up the city against you." So Abimelech went up Mount Zalmon, he and his troops. He cut down some branches and loaded them on his shoulders, and ordered the men he had with him, "Quick, do what you have seen me do." So all the men cut branches and followed Abimelech. They piled them against the stronghold and set it on fire with the people still inside. So all the people in the tower of Shechem, about 1,000 men and women, also died. Next Abimelech went to Thebez and besieged it and captured it. Inside the city, however, was a strong tower, to which all the men and women in the city fled. They locked themselves in and climbed up on the tower roof. Abimelech went to the tower and attacked it. Near the strong tower of the city, he went to the roof and asked his armor-bearer, "Draw your sword and kill me, so that they can't say, 'A woman killed him.'" So his servant ran him through, and he died. When the Israelites saw that Abimelech had died, they went home. Thus God repaid the wickedness that Abimelech had done to his father by murdering his 70 brothers. God also made the people of Shechem pay for all their wickedness. The curse of Jotham son of Jerubbaal came upon them. In this way the crime against Jerubbaal's 70 sons, whose blood had been shed, was avenged, and also on the citizens of Shechem, for having helped him murder his brothers. God made the people of Shechem pay for all their wickedness. The curse of Jotham son of Jerubbaal came upon them.